Welcome. Firstly, I wish to acknowledge the peoples of the Kulin Nation as the traditional owners of the land on which Wyndham is being built. We pay our respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and extend our respect to all Aboriginal people. As the Creative City portfolio holder, I'm delighted to officially open Fluid, our latest art exhibition here at the Wyndham Art Gallery. Wyndham Art Gallery is building its reputation as a gallery that exhibits contemporary, emerging and thought-provoking exhibitions. Our gallery seeks to reflect the diverse social and cultural identity of our community. Through art expression, people are brought together to explore, question, challenge, confront and test their beliefs and ideas. This unique exhibition features non-binary and LGBTIQIA+ artists and will challenge your position on gender identities. Fluid encourages the viewer to consider and explore how shifting identities are redefining male and female gender norms and creating life outside of binary ideals. Now, gender binary is no longer fixed, and this exhibition explores how perceived social norms shape our identities. Artists in this exhibition are challenging the narrative of the past and bringing thought-provoking ideas to examine the fluidity of gender. Featuring artwork from established artists Paul Yor, Ophelia Bukowski, Nathan Beard, Ebony Hickey, James Lemon, Brooke van der Linden, Daniel R. Marks, and Wyndham creative Gideon Willonia. This exhibition is co-created by artist Lola May Pink and our in-house curator, Dr. Megan Evans. The featured works cover a range of mediums and approaches from sculptures, prints, photography, mixed media to collage works. Each artist in this exhibition identifies as gender fluid, and their work is an expression of who they are. In considering their work, we can contemplate the challenges that people face in being categorised, as well as celebrate the possibility of a world in which we're all free to be whoever and whatever we choose. Wyndham is in a unique position to position itself as a city where difference is supported and celebrated, building an inclusive and diverse community which will help to make Wyndham a more vibrant and livable city. Fluid can be enjoyed as a gallery exhibition on select dates. See the website for information and a book. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lola May Pink. I'd like to welcome everybody officially to the Fluid exhibition. I am the co-curator along with Dr. Megan Evans, and we are here at the wonderful Wyndham Art Gallery space. And we're really excited to bring this exhibition to you, which coincides with the Midsummer Festival. And we're excited to bring you 7 amazing artists. So Megan and I will now take you through the show. These particular collages are taken from 1950s, 1960s women's magazines, as well as bodybuilding magazines. And I think what Brooke does so beautifully is takes very, I guess, binary and idealized imagery and juxtaposes them together in a way that create these really interesting forms that are neither human nor machine nor nature.
There's a lot of irony in the work too.
Yeah.
Like I love this one down here particularly, which is the bodybuilder, you know, and then the floral arrangement and the way that Brooks put all these things together, like the bodybuilder and the chandelier. It just flips and by literally cutting up those objects and cutting up the body and putting the body in different situations and ironic situations in many cases. They're really fantastic.
So I think what I find most beautiful about Gideon's work is that these derived from him growing up watching his mum and sisters and aunties, I guess, do the feminine things that he wasn't allowed to do. He's got a real tenderness for that history, which speaks to me as a really maybe envious that he couldn't partake at the time. He's reclaiming that now for himself, almost paying homage to it.
It's not a sort of a fashion shoot where you just see the beautiful clothes and the beautiful poses. There's actually a real insistent on showing the constructed nature of what he's doing, and that this is a constructed scene.
Yeah.
It's not a natural scene necessarily, which is sort of playing against what he talks about wanting to claim this, but also he's claiming it in a culture and a society that doesn't necessarily accept it.
Yeah.
This is a series of work by Daniel R. Marks, which is called Paranoia Superstar. So we have the objects, the constructed high heel shoes, the mask and the scrolls. And then we also have this beautiful video of Daniel's works.
These particular objects, whilst they are stunning on their own, static, they are in context to the performance that goes along with it. And I feel like what Daniel embodies in their performance is that it's almost like these are archaeological relics of a binary world that maybe no longer even exists, but they're going through the rituals of adorning themselves with them, trying to create a fit in their body. But it's almost like it's an old suit that no longer fits this new world and this new body. I see a deep sense of quiet and healing in this particular video. I think that there is a sense that Ophelia is one with the environment in a way that neither pushes against it nor allows it to push them. And I think that's the beautiful balance of this video, is that there's so much movement and there's so much, I guess for lack of a better word, fluidity to this piece. But I think that it's so layered in terms of its intimacy and its vulnerability.
These works are by Nathan Beard, and they're actually photographs that they found in the abandoned home of his mother in Thailand. And he's made these pieces using Swarovski crystals in the patterns that are very classically Thai patterns.
Yeah.
And also to note that the mouths actually sit out off the face. So the mouths are sort of like this hint or a disguise of what was really going on behind the scenes.
It comes back to, I guess, a certain anonymity, and maybe that is the way in which Nathan found these photographs. Maybe Nathan's personal experience. I feel like this beautiful crystal mask is almost like a costume that obscures the person behind.
The thing that really gets me is the eyes. Like you've got this very, very direct look, and the eyes don't fit with the mouths.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. Paul's work, I've personally long been a fan of Paul Yor's work. I feel that there is, I guess in his own words, describes his work as frivolous and gay, and I just really identify with that, the glitter and the sparkle and the colours. But there's also this amazing political and pop culture referencing that is almost slammed together to create these really quite poignant pieces that for some are quite confronting because it deals with content that, you know, I guess a lot of people don't want to acknowledge.
It can be quite hard work for some people to look at this work, but I think that's a really interesting thing to investigate for us, to see, well, what is it about these objects and this reality that is challenging for us to look at, and why is that something that is very often hidden away or, you know, edited out. I think that's one of the wonderful things about art. When someone deals with this in the context of art, it really does put it in a new light for people to examine and explore and think about. There's a lot of very intelligent comments in this work.
And that's what I find about Paul's work, is that on the surface it's colourful, it's bright, it's, you know,
It's sort of shocking.
Yeah, but when you look closer, there's so many very, very intelligent references to politics, to social politics. And I think that Paul has a really important point of view.
You look fabulous next to this, I have to say.
Thank you.
You're
I'd
colour
like to
coordinated.
introduce you to my new partner, Kyle. This piece is actually called Kyle. It's by James Lemon. And I think that it's really, it's funny and sweet that they have people names. The majority of his work has people names. And that always gets me curious as to whether they're portraits.
You know, you could wonder, well, what's this got to do with fluid and gender identity? But one of the things that I really love about what he talks about in the making of his work is that the work actually is informed by something that is fluid. Like, it's not, it doesn't come from an intellectual place, it doesn't come from a representational place, but it actually comes from a space, which is a very
an experiential.
It's an experiential space, and it's also the work emerges from a space of fluidity. So this is a work by Ebony Hickey, and I really love this work. It's a video work, and it also has a screen element. So it's called Divine Makeup, and it's a very courageous work because Ebony talks in it about her own trauma and her own experience of being an adopted child, never meeting her mother, and also being a black woman in a culture that privileges whiteness, and what that's like for her. And it just speaks for itself, actually. I don't really need to say much about Ebony's work. It's very powerful. I want to acknowledge the courage that she has she's a relatively new artist. It's very brave doing this work. It's brave for any artist to do this type of very personal, revealing work, but I'm really impressed and love this work. One of the common elements, I think, which I really think needs to be acknowledged, is the vulnerability of all the artists and the power of vulnerability. Like that when you have the courage to be vulnerable about who you are and where you are and what you are in the world, what comes from that is extraordinary, and it's a real gift to the world.
Yeah, and it is a gift to the people who get to witness it, because there is vulnerability in all of us.
Absolutely.
And I think that the power of this exhibition and these 7 artists is that whoever you are, wherever you are, you can find a connection. You know, the underlying message is, I think that people can walk away from this exhibition, I guess, having a deeper connection to the artist's vulnerability and possibly their own.
Their own, exactly. Thank you.